Yeah. Uh, just a second. Yeah. So where are we? Like, so about the syllabus, I would be sharing today in the group. So this would take around 1.5 month of a session. It might take more. So for now, like as per the communication, I would be covering the manual testing. Like if any related or other courses, I will inform further. Okay. So okay, let me share my screen and we'll start the session. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So mostly like this would be the running notes in the notepad. Uh, so daily like we'll be having the agenda what are the topics we would be covering and the formal the material I would be sharing you on the Google Drive. Okay, I'll create one link and there I will be add all the documents like practice notes and running notes and this recording also. You can refer later. Okay, fine. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
for today, like simply keep it short and simple. Like we'll see what is the manual testing, or before that, we'll see what is the testing and how many types we have, and so what like so even apart from this, even we need to cover the SDLC like software development, how the application will be built, and how we will do the coding and how we'll be doing the testing, and what is the models we have and what kind of testings and the methods we follow. So you might be heard about the test plan or the strategy and how we can prepare the document, how we can prepare the test cases. Well, we'll see one by one. Okay. So okay. Uh, so what exactly testing and so why we will do the testing? We will discuss one by one. So simply, if I say what exactly the testing. So testing is nothing but like simply we will do kind of a validation. Like we will simply verify. Uh, so you can take any field. Like not only it's about the software, even you take the hardware or the in you can take any industry where this testing will do to evaluate the product. You can take any product. It might be a software product or it might be any system. So we'll simply ensure that meet the specific requirement. For example, so you are working for any company. So you are not the person who will give the requirements, or you will not build the code or product on your own. So they will give the requirements. The company and the person, the business will give the requirement. Based on that requirement only, we will build a product. So we'll see whether that product performs as expected or not, or it is meeting the criteria or the requirement. You can say anything. So in this testing, what exactly we need to do? We'll simply verify or we will validate, and if we have found the deviation means it is differing. For example, let's might take a code a equal to 1, it has to be written somewhere. So instead of a equal to 1, This is a requirement simply, but this is the expected means in the software testing we will see what is expected. Expected means the requirement which is expected. So in the actual, the developer generally in the software testing, uh, so in the testing, mostly we'll closely work with the developers in the software testing. So developer will build a code, will check whether that code is working properly or not. So instead of this, he written b equal to 1. So this is the actual result. So we will compare this actual result with the expected one, and we'll call them as a bugs. Okay. So we will find out the errors. Okay. This would be the another chapter or another topic. What is the error or bug or defect? We'll see somewhere. So for now, we'll keep it simple. So we'll call it as a bug. Means some deviation I have seen. It is a difference. So it has to be fixed. So in the testing, I will say the process of evaluation where evaluation of product or application or system should meet the requirement. What is a requirement? Requirement is something which is given by the business. Okay. So in the SDLC class, we'll discuss about deeply about this SDLC, the requirements gathering and analysis, and how we do the testing and coding. Everything we'll see over there. Okay. So and performs as expected, and it involves identifying the bugs to ensure quality and functionality. Means, so I'm saying here like, oh, just a second. References. Wrap, okay. Yeah. Forward. Yeah. So, so in this also, like, we can't say like, so I told you about the testing, right? So we'll try to make sure that the quality of the product is good. So before that, like you build some product, so it is built by some engineers. So engineers are nothing but you can say developers. So they build the software product. So you are the tester who will check the product is working fine or not, or if you have any issues. So for example, you launched a product, it has some issues. So because of that, uh, in the real time, like if you see any companies, they might be losing uh, the money or the name of the company. So because the product is not good as expected. Okay. So it might not be possible. So while this engineer build a product, it might be 80 to 90% efficient or it's good. But we'll ensure that we'll go to the till 99% we'll ensure. We can't guarantee about that 1%, but we'll ensure that the quality of the product is good as expected. Okay. So in that also we have various types of testings will do, like unit testing, integration testing. We have many. Okay. So in this testing also, I told you what is testing. So we'll come to the software testing. Okay. In the software testing, you might take any app. Let's take Swiggy. So you will ensure like even we have the many kinds of testing like UI testing means the user interface testing you will do, or you will do the ETL testing and database testing you do, or simply you know about the Android. Android is one of the OS, so Android testing will do, or the I would say application testing means so they will provide you any particular application. You need to check that application. So in that also, in this software testing, they will provide you any software. Software is nothing but it's a group of the code we will write and we will execute, and it has to do some functionality. For example, I am saying, you know about the coding. What is the coding? So coding is nothing but it perform the some specific task. Okay. So we will check whether that code is working fine or not. In this also, we have the manual testing and the automation testing. Okay. So in our course, we'll try to understand the manual testing. Automation, it's not required for now. As a fresher, actually, we should focus on the manual testing. Once you understand the manual testing, so automation generally requires any programming language. Means Java or Python or C sharp or .NET. So .NET. So so you need any programming language to run this automation. Means you need to do the uh, you need to write the automate script. Means so whatever you are checking manually means on our own we'll go into the application, we will execute step by step and we'll see by ourselves. That is a manual testing. Where in the automation you will write only one script. Means you will write one script. So you will you will execute. You don't need to run or check one by one or step by step. So if you run this script, it will execute and it will provide the results. So that is the automation. Okay. Whereas in the manual testing, so you will execute step by step. You will see the output. You will make sure that output is matching as per the requirement. Okay. Just a second. Yeah. So I would say this software system plays a one of the crucial role in the present world. So if you see many industries, so uh, they can build a product. If the product is not good as expected, so So for example, let's take only the Swiggy. So whenever you go to the Swiggy, you are able to log in with your mobile number and you're able to place your order. That's a general functionality. What you do, you will log in first and you will select the food and you will place a order. So this is a functionality this Swiggy has to do. So I would say there is some issue in the login page itself. So you are able to if you are not able to log in, you can't select a food or you can't place a order. In that case, the company might lose a business. So that is the impact you will see. Even though everything is working fine, because of some small issue, the entire software or application will be collapsed. That's why we should make sure this testing whatever we are doing. So we should be very careful. Okay. So generally, the manual testing, it's the starting one. Later on, we have added this automation. So automation, it has some advantages like for the cost saving and the production gains. For example, uh, some application we can't do in the man automation. That's why we still follow the manual testing. Whereas in the automation, how it would be like, for example, five people are working in the five task. Instead of that, whatever the automation you are doing, it can be done by the one or two people. Okay. And so there are some common problems in the software development that we have to find out and we have to inform. So for this also we are using some tools like uh, Jira or HP ALM or TFS. So this would come in the again in the SDLC one. Okay. Okay. So initially so we discussed what is the importance of software testing and okay, we will see some common problems. Okay. Software development, I would say. Okay. So so whenever you are working in the software testing, you should come up with the scenarios. Like for example, how can I test a product? So initially, I would suggest whenever you are trying to get into any project, you should understand what is the project. Okay. Some important points to be remembered. Okay. You should understand the project. So what is the end goal? Means what I am achieving out of this project. So you should understand the project. So what are the dependencies, who are all working. You should know about your team and the skills required for the project, or I would say the technology. So what are skills they have asked? It might be a communication skills or it might be a technical skills or the experience they are expecting. So you should understand what are the skills they require. So what is a programming language they are expecting. So as a tester, like what your roles and responsibility. So we would cover this as well. Okay. So what are the roles and responsibilities you have, and what is which software model they follow, or what are their terminologies? Terminology means the way they work and the way uh, you can say the ways of working and all. So these are some important points. Okay. So then only what is your role and what kind of testing you need to perform. Okay. Types of testing you need to perform on that software. Okay. So you should understand the software and any issues it has, and what exactly I can uh, test on that one. Okay. Okay, we'll see this one. So generally, there are some common problems we have in the software development. What are those? Let's take scope. Scope in the sense, uh, I would say whether we can work on it or not. So that comes under the scope, we will say. Okay. So there is some scope on the software testing. We would see whether it can be tested or not. Like we'll see any, uh, if you take any project, so any unplanned expansion means they have introduced some functionality. For example, what is meant by functionality? So does anyone knows what is meant by functionality? Any example? Or so functionality is nothing but the task it has to be performed. Means, for example, I'll simply take uh, okay, let's take a bank. In the bank, everyone, I think everyone uses UPI. Means the bank transfer. One of the bank transfer you will use. So what is the functionality of this UPI? So it has to transfer money from one account to another account. So actually that is the functionality, right? About this UPI. So whenever you are making maybe 10 or 20 rupees to any person or any uh, another bank, so it has to send the money. Okay. But if it is not sending, that means it has some issue. Okay. So that is a functionality. Means if I am giving some task, whether it able to perform or not, we'll call it as a functionality. The way it has to be worked. Okay. So what is a functional the way this UPI works? Generally, it has to transfer money from one account to another account. If it is not working, so the functionality is not working properly. I would say that. Okay. So in the product expansion, so we will see they added some unplanned expansion. Okay. Or there is some delays. And quality. I would say this scope creep. So what happening here in the project? There are some unexpected functionality they have given. There are some delays. There are some decreased quality. or there might be a leading of increased cost. Okay. So everything comes under the scope only. This will impact your project or the software application. Okay. So you heard about the cost cutting in the projects in the company. Even uh, that might impact your scope. Okay. Or some unexpected delays happening from our end or from the business that will impact the scope. Okay. Okay. For like, I will give you some homework. You can go back and you can check what is the scope. Scope in software, I would say development. Okay. So this is the one common problem we face in the software. Or else resource constraints means uh, let's take uh, you're able to follow, right? Or does anyone have any doubts or questions?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So constant means uh, availability of resources. Okay, means for example, I think for testing in one project, generally they will go into this ratio. For example, two developers, they will keep one tester. What happening here? Instead of one tester, we have only one tester for four developers. Means we have limited resources. That one also impact the software development or testing. Okay. For example, you have to test one functionality. So what happening? Like in the real time, instead of one functionality, they gave you around five functionalities to test in the limited time. Generally, we go with by time. That comes under this SDLC, where it is like we'll call it as a sprint. Okay, like in the old days, we used to have the software testing for around 1 year or 2 years. After that, we used to launch the product. On recent days, what exactly we are doing? We used to take a limited time, means maybe 10 days, 20 days. We used to complete the functionality and we will submit to a client. So that's how we go. So in this limited time, so we have four developers and we have one tester. I can't complete the given time task in the given time. Okay. So that's the one of the issue. Like because of this also, exactly happening here? What are the causes happening for this scope? I see the change in requirement and I would say unclear project means if you don't have the proper scope, you can't work properly. In a uh, not proper communication. Okay. So in that case, what is the resolution we can take here? So we need to establish a clear project boundaries and we used to have a proper like a management process and we need to prioritize the future. Okay. Means whatever you're working, you need to know. If you don't know what exactly you're working, you can't do it. That's why we need to have the, okay. So సో మనమంతా తెలుగే కాబట్టి ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. మీకు ఎక్కడన్నా అర్థం అవ్వకున్నా వీ కెన్ అగైన్ డిస్కస్ ఇన్ తెలుగు తెలుగులో కూడా చెప్తాను, మీకు ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. సో మనకి అర్థం అవ్వడం ఇంపార్టెంట్, లాంగ్వేజ్ కాదు. ఓకే.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
యా. సో ఇన్ దిస్ స్కోప్ you should have the clear project. So whatever you are working, you need to have the clear communication, okay? And the management. For example, you are working with one person, you are not sure what exactly he wants to convey. So you can't work with that kind of environment. So you should have the proper communication with your team members and what exactly the project it is. Okay. So even this resource constant also impacts. For example, you see in some projects what happens, they might need maybe a two testers or four testers. What they will do, because of some budget issue or something, they will only use one tester for all the works. What happens, uh, the work I can complete, example take myself only. So I can complete the given work, but I can't have a quality. We'll have the missing of the quality, means we can't do the proper testing. So that is one of the issue we face in this software system. Okay. So how why this happens means, uh, while when we started this project, what we do, so we will underestimate the project. So I started one project. Let's take uh, me and my manager and my team members having the conversation. We finalized that we need only one tester. So in the real time, we need three testers. So we are underestimating the project. We don't know the project complexity. Okay. That why it happens, or any unexpected delays. That's why it happens, or resource allocation. So generally, the companies, I think you know how there are two types of companies we have. What are those? One is the product based company. Another one is a service based company. So you heard about this TCS or a Capgemini, or I would say TechChem, Tech Mahindra, or there are some companies, so they don't have their own product. What they will do, they have these employees, they will give these employees to another company. So that comes under the service based company. Okay. What exactly they will do, they will hire a employee, they will train them according to the skill set, and they will give that employee to the another company. That comes under the service based company. What is a product based company? You will have your own product. Let's take the Dell. So what Dell will design? Laptops, desktops, or many like keyboards, mouse, everything. Or let's take Lenovo. Any product you take. So they won't give their employees to other companies. They will have their own product. They will have their own employees. Okay. So these are the two companies. So generally, resource allocation means this service based company will provide the employees to the product based companies, or whoever is required. So they will do this resource allocation. Okay. So even they don't assign the proper resource, or because of some budget issue and all, they are not allocating the resource. Even that might impact this software system. There are some common problems we have. Okay. So how we can mitigate that? Mitigate in the sense the resolution or the solution. Okay. So we can have the effective resource planning. Okay. That's the one thing. And the prioritization and continuous planning means once you plan, you should not leave it at that step only. You should keep on following up the planning and all. Okay. You should take a feedback and you should uh, take the latest updates from the project. Then only we can work efficiently. Okay. Or there might be communication issues. So this is also one of the important. Many people can't clear the interviews because of this only. I suggest you need to focus on before everything the communication. Okay. So I tell you one thing. So as you are freshers, I came from there only. I suggest you to uh, at least in a day, maybe 10 minutes. You start with the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and increase that to 30 minutes or 1 hour. Just try to learn a new words or whatever you know. Just try to talk with someone in the English. In that, you will gain a confidence. So one thing is like if you don't know the language, you might not be a confidence. If you are not confident enough, you can't clear the interview. That's the issue I'm saying. So generally, the companies will prefer this English language, right? So I'll suggest you like it should not be the proper English. At least you should able to convey what is exactly the language. Language is nothing but it's a barrier between the two persons. So whatever I am saying, you should able to understand. If you're unable to understand, that might be a useless. So that's why I'm saying it. It may not be the proper English or the higher English. If you're able to make the other person understandable, so that would be fine. Okay. So communication skills are mandate. So this is also one of the important issue we have. Okay. What is that? Lack of clear communication. So ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూడండి, మనం తెలుగు మనకిప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడుతున్నా కాబట్టి ఇంకొంచెం క్లియర్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయొచ్చేమో. సో మన ఇంగ్లీష్కి ఫారెన్ ఇంగ్లీష్కి చాలా డిఫరెన్స్ ఉంటుంది. Take it US English or UK English or Canadian English. It's totally different. Even the Australian English or Russian. So వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా టోటల్గా డిఫరెంట్ ఉంటాయి. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ విత్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్, it's not only like we will work with the from our own space or our country. It might be we will working with the other country persons as well. So in that case, if you have the lack of communication, even that can cause the problems in the software development. Okay. So misunderstandings. So it might be between stakeholders, or means the owners or developers, or I can say other team members. So I told you something. Uh, my pronunciation might be different, or my language, the way of I speak, it's might be different. Because of that, I said something like the complete. and you understand like complex. So some misses, even because of this misunderstanding, or uh, because of the communication gap, you might have the uh, issues in the software development. Okay, so what you can do it, what are generally causes? So whatever you want to convey, whether it might be in the speaking, or you might be in the chat conversation, or text or mails, I would say these are some channels we use in the project. So generally we use these teams. Okay, teams to communicate with each other, like if you are working in the project, initially they will give you the access to the Outlook, the teams. So I would say even the writing skills are also mandate. What are the writing skills? Means uh, previously we used to write a letters, right? In the olden days we used to write a letters. Right now what we are using, we used to write a mails, or having chat conversation with the employees. So that should be clear. Okay. How we can mitigate that? With clear communication, use proper uh, management tools, and better collaborated environment. Okay. So if before you are understanding the project and all, if you have a good communication with your team members, that will build up the team skills. Okay. Team working skills. Okay. Automatically it will improve the project also. Okay. And there might be a technical challenges. What are the challenges? Technical challenges. Some complex. Okay. Definition. Some complex technical issues, or unexpected problems during development. So if you're working in a project, so what happens because of some error which you don't know, that comes under the very complex technical one. So where because of that even impact our project. For that, what we can do, generally causes of technical limitations means we don't think so far or further. We might be still thinking present, only about the present. Like I'm building something, I don't know how it will work in the future. So I have the knowledge on the technical knowledge limitations, I would say, because of maybe coding errors or the compatibility issue. So coding error means like it will generally happens by the developers. Compatibility issues means let's take uh, I I developed one application. It is I already tested in the Android application. We want to do use the same in the iPhone also, in the iMac one. Because of the compatibility issue, it is not working fine. So compatibility means it is not flexible enough or compact enough to work in all the environments. Because of that issues also we face this one. mitigate. So how we can resolve this one? Through coding. So we need to understand the coding. We'll do the code reviews. Okay, means code review means, for example, I wrote some code, some lines of code. So let's take this code was uh, coded by the developer one. So this entire code, it will be reviewed or it will be checked by the another developer. It's called the peer review. Okay, peer to peer review means, so the code which is developed by the developer one, it will be maybe checked by the developer two. So maybe we have two developers. So whatever the code is developed by the whatever the code is developed by the developer two, it will be checked by the developer one. So we will do the exchange of code. We'll check whether the code is, so మీరు ఏదైతే కోడ్ రాసినారో మీ మీ వరకు అది కరెక్టే అనిపిస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే మీరు ఒక సైడ్ నుంచి ఆ కోడ్ని చూస్తారు. సో ఇఫ్ ఎప్పుడైతే మనం ఈ కోడ్ని వేరే డెవలపర్కి ఇస్తామో, సో హీ మైట్ సీ ఇన్ ద డిఫరెంట్ వే, in the different perspective or in a different dimension. So he might find the issue, or he might, maybe he might come up with some improvements in the code. Okay, so that's how we work. So we can do these code reviews. Okay, and we should have the good planning. Okay, oh, there are many like quality assurance. We'll go it one by one. Sixth one is like change in requirements. Seventh one is lack of collaboration. So what is meant by quality? I told you, right? This technical challenges mostly happens because of developers or maybe some complex uh, technical issues. So everything comes under this common problems like generally we face actually. So no one will speak about it, no one talk about it, but we are able to feel it or we will see it in the projects. Okay, that's why I want to cover this one. Okay, definition. Oh, just give me a second. Oh, this guy. Yes. Team. Be sure. Okay. Just a second. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So, where are we? The quality assurance. Quality assurance comes under the defects or bugs, I would say. Okay. In the software. So, mostly this will happen because of the if we miss some quality assurance in that, it might affect the functionality. Okay. Functionality or performance. Okay. Performance of the project. How, what are the causes? Uh, Missing to test the application, and maybe poor coding, or might be change in system. Means, so whatever you are writing the code, so generally you will write a code according to the system. So there are some changes happened in the system. So even that also it might impact the quality assurance. Okay. Mitigate. Rigorous testing means we need to perform a uh, we we need to perform every kind of testing whatever it is applicable. After that we need to do the code review, and we can test code review, I might say. Okay. So you're able to follow, right? Or any doubts or questions still here?
No, sir. No doubt.
Okay, fine. So, okay, change in the requirements we already discussed. Means, for example, మనం ఏదైతే ప్రాజెక్ట్లో వర్క్ చేస్తున్నామో ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో మనకు చెప్పింది ఒకటి, వాళ్ళు కొన్ని రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ తర్వాత మళ్ళీ చేస్తారు. సో ఆఫ్టర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ అంటే డెవలపర్ వర్క్ చేసిన తర్వాత కోడ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో, ఐ మీన్ ద రిక్వైర్మెంట్ అనేది చేంజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. దానివల్ల కూడా మనం ఏదైతే ఈ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ వర్క్ చేస్తున్నామో అక్కడ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ రావచ్చు. ఓకే. దట్స్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ఇష్యూ. అంటే ఇవన్నీ రెగ్యులర్గా మనకి జరిగేటివి. అండ్ వాట్ కాజెస్ వీ హ్యావ్? ఎవాల్వింగ్ బిజినెస్ అండ్ needs, I would say, new technology, or simply feedback from stakeholders. So, evolving in the business అంటే ఓకే, మీకు ఈ స్విగ్గీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్పాను కదా, ఇక్కడ మనం లాగిన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వాడు ఏమన్నాడంటే నాకు ఓన్లీ మొబైల్ నంబర్ ఇంకా ఓటీపీ ఇస్తే సరిపోతుందని చెప్పారు. తర్వాత వాడు ఏం చేస్తాడంటే బిజినెస్ ఏమన్నదంటే నాకు దాంతోపాటు క్యాప్చా కూడా కావాలి, లేదంటే మొబైల్ ఓటీపీతో పాటు నాకు ఈమెయిల్ ఓటీపీ కూడా కావాలి అన్నాడు. సో దట్స్ కమ్స్ అండర్ దిస్ ఎవాల్వింగ్ ఇన్ ద బిజినెస్ నీడ్స్. సో దే నీడ్ మోర్ సమ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్, ఆర్ Let's take you are working in some environment or in technology. So initially you are using Java. By using this Java, you are unable to perform the proper code. So that's why maybe you are moved out or you added some more module to that or another application where you might meet the change in the coding. So that's also impact this change requirements which causes in the issues in the software development. Okay, where is this? Yeah, or the feedback from stakeholders. So stakeholders are nothing but the business owners. They are not satisfied with our work. Even that also comes under the change requirement. Mitigate change management process. So we need to have the efficient management process, uh, flexible development. So whatever we are working the developments, it has to be in the flexible and efficient communication. Okay, that's the one thing. Lack of the collaboration. Collaboration is nothing but teamwork. You don't have the teamwork or proper collaboration between team members. So team members is nothing but not only your team. So there might be some dependency between your team and another team. Means సో మీరు ఏదైతే ప్రాజెక్ట్ వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారో సమ్ డేటా మీకు వేరే టీం నుంచి కూడా కావాలి. సో ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ మీకు ప్రాపర్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ అనేది లేదనుకోండి, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఆల్సో యూ మైట్ ఫేస్ దిస్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇష్యూస్. ఓకే, వాట్ ఆర్ ద కాజెస్? పర్సనాలిటీ క్లాషెస్ ఆర్ ల్యాక్ ఆఫ్ ట్రస్ట్ ఆర్ అన్క్లియర్ రోల్స్ అండ్ రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీస్. సో ఇది ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, డెవలపర్ని తీసుకుంటారు. ఆయనకి ఏం చెప్తారంటే ఇనీషియల్ హైర్ చేసుకునేటప్పుడు ఓన్లీ నీకు డెవలప్మెంటే ఉంటుందని చెప్తారు. లేటర్ ఆన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్లు వెళ్ళినాక ఏముంటుందంటే వాళ్ళకి టెస్టింగ్ టాస్క్లు ఇవ్వడం, మేబీ అనదర్ అన్రిలేటెడ్ టాస్క్లు ఇవ్వడం. సో ప్రాపర్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అనేది ఉండకపోవడం వల్ల మేబీ ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను చెప్పేది అవతల వాళ్ళకి అర్థం కాకున్నా వాళ్ళు అనుకుంటారు అసలు ఈయన చెప్పేది అసలు వ్యాలిడ్ పాయింటే కాదు. సో దే డోంట్ ట్రస్ట్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. ఆర్ ద పర్సనాలిటీ క్లాషెస్, దీస్ ఆర్ సమ్. మనం anyhow we are the humans, right? There might be the personality differences. Even that's also causes this issue. Okay, mitigate. So we need to do the team building. Okay, clear roles and responsibilities. Okay, that's important. Okay, and maintaining the good culture, good work culture, I would say. So we have many. So these are some samples, or we discussed less. సో మనకి ఇంకా చాలా ఉన్నాయి. సో జనరల్గా ఇంకేమున్నాయి? సో బగ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, అంటే క్వాలిటీ అంటే ఏంటి, మనకి టెస్టింగ్ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్స్ అనేటివి ఎవరిస్తారు, ఇంకోటి. సో విల్ డిస్కస్ నార్మల్లీ. ఓకే, వై సాఫ్ట్వేర్ హ్యాస్ బగ్స్, విల్ డిస్కస్ దిస్ వన్. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, ఐ వుడ్ సే వాట్ ఈస్ క్వాలిటీ. We already discussed what is quality. Testing objectives means if you are doing some testing, What are the rules or the conditions you need to follow? And what are errors, bugs, or defect? Okay. There is one more, but also I forgot. So error, bug, and defect. These three are totally different. Okay. So we'll discuss one by one. Okay. Why software has bugs? So we already discussed. Like anyhow, we are the humans, right? So we it might be some human error because we miss sometimes we miss to uh, identify something because of that happens, or it has many factors, or some complex systems, or maybe I would say coding error. Coding error generally happens because of human errors only. So you might like generally you need whenever you're writing by mistake typos or what exactly happens logical errors means, for example, uh, some people might not have the good knowledge on the mathematics or some like logical queries. Because of that also will happen, like because uh, typo is nothing but uh, for example, in the SQL we need to write this one, select star from table example. Instead of that he misspelled it, means he written wrongly. He write this one. This is a wrong one. This comes under the typo, means typing mistake. Because of this also this coding error happens, or incorrect syntax. So select a star from table. This is a proper way. So what the developer did, he write here like this, table, select star from. So that doesn't make any sense. So this by this also uh, it happens. So this can lead to the bugs. Okay. So incorrect syntax. Okay. Or the design flaws, I would say. Means poor design, like the architecture. We will discuss that also later. So how uh, the software is built. Before something built, it has to be designed. So or the algorithm we use. Okay. Or the testing apps, I would say. So we might to uh, miss bugs or errors. Because of this also happens. Or I would say human error we already covered. What else? The complexity. So because of some complex queries and the complexity of software, you couldn't understand. Or maybe the time constant. Because of maybe uh, the tight deadlines. You can go back and in the homework, you can check what is the deadline. Okay. You can go back and you can search this one. Oh, check. Okay. So there are many factors it might impact the software. So we already discussed what is the quality. Quality is nothing but uh, how would I say? So how much? like it actually depends on the various uh, ways, but generally, simply I would say the requirement, if it is not matching, we are not maintaining the quality. Okay. Testing objects errors. Okay. Any. Okay, we'll stop it here. Uh, first day name Uttam. I mean, I don't want to overload you in first day itself. సో సింప్లీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ టెస్టింగ్ అంటే ఏం లేదు. ఇన్ జనరల్గా మన సాఫ్ట్వేర్ మనం ఏదైతే రాస్తామో అది వర్క్ చేయాల్సిన వేలో వర్క్ చేస్తుందా లేదా అని టెస్ట్ చేస్తాం. సో దానికోసం మనం కొన్ని టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ టెస్టింగ్ చేస్తాం. అంటే ఎగ్జాంపుల్ తీసుకుంటే బ్లాక్ బాక్స్ టెస్టింగ్ అని, వైట్ బాక్స్ టెస్టింగ్ అని. సో అట్లా డిఫరెంట్ టెస్టింగ్స్ ఉంటాయి. బిఫోర్ దట్ మనం టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ రాయాలి. సో ఆ టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ ఎలా రాస్తాం? సో మనం ఏం చేద్దామంటే ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ ది కోర్స్ మనం ఒక లెట్స్ టేక్ వన్ ప్రాజెక్ట్, ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ తీసుకొని దానిపైన మనం ఈ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ టెస్టింగ్ ఎలా చేస్తామో చూద్దాం. ఓకే. సో ఇక్కడ వరకు అయితే మీకు క్లియర్ కదా? ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్స్ కానీ డౌట్స్ కానీ ఉన్నాయా? ఓకే, ఫైన్. థ్యాంక్ యూ, శ్రీనివాస్. ఓకే. టుమారో విల్ కనెక్ట్ అరౌండ్ 10 o'clock. I will, uh, I'll, okay, I'll stop it.